Welcome to the NonProfit Voice, a podcast series brought to you by NonProfit Pro, the go-to resource for nonprofit management and strategy. In each episode, we're going to sit down with leaders of nonprofit organizations, the people responsible for paving the way for our sector, along with key technology strategy partners who are transforming our industry. Here at the NonProfit Voice, we'll have refreshing conversations in which we will all learn more about the convergence of nonprofit and technology. Be sure to follow us on social media and visit our website to find more episodes of the NonProfit Voice. And you can download all of the NonProfit Voice episodes on iTunes, Google Play, or Spotify. We will have all the links down below.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the NonProfit Voice. I am Sean Norris, former editor of NonProfit Pro, currently filling in as editor and host for this fine program. Thank you all for joining us today. And thank you to our guests for this episode, John Thompson, Chief Creative Officer for TrueSense Marketing, and Mirvlyne Brice, Senior Individual Giving Officer for Academy of Hope Adult Public Charter School. John is a veteran of direct marketing and direct response fundraising. He has more than 35 years of experience in the sector. From running his own direct response firm for over 17 years to working at major agencies such as Russ Reed and Merkle, John has tremendous breadth and depth of experience, including even working for a nonprofit for over 4 years. John is now the Chief Creative Officer at TrueSense and leads multi-channel creative teams, while as a senior executive helping to lead marketing and business development for the agency. He is an active volunteer, having served on the DMAW board. He attends numerous events and was co-chair of marketing for the Bridge Conference for 4 years, where he is now the overall conference co-chair. And joining John, as mentioned, is Mirvlyne Brice. Mirvlyne hails from Brooklyn, New York, where she held administrative positions in social services, a community economic development organization, and city government. Nearly 7 years ago, Mirvlyne moved to Northern Virginia and chose to switch careers. She decided to become a nonprofit fundraiser. In the last 6 years, she has helped raise funds for various sectors, including social services, medical research, the arts, and now adult education. Mirvlyne has held leadership roles in AFPDC, including co-chair of the AFPDC Northern Virginia Affinity Group and the Affinity Group coach for 6 AFPDC affinity groups. She's also an inaugural member of the AFPDC Anti-Racism and Discrimination Task Force. And when she's not co-chairing the education committee for the 2021 Bridge Conference, you can find her at Academy of Hope Adult Public Charter School, where she is the Senior Individual Giving Officer. I think I got it all. Is there anything I missed in there?
Oh, that was perfect.
All right. Very good. Well, it's a pleasure to have you two on today. It's really great. I'm really excited about this. This is my first opportunity to step in and have a little guest hosting spot on this podcast. And I think couldn't be a better episode to do so on. And I want to get to the topic of the day, which is Bridge Conference. So the Bridge to Integrated Marketing and Fundraising Conference was first held in 2006. It's now in its 16th year, going strong, continuing to grow. So I was hoping you two could tell me a little bit about the impetus behind the creation of Bridge Conference and how it all began.
Well, Sean, thanks first of all for having us. It's a pleasure to be here, and we're happy to talk about Bridge. Really, Bridge began 16 years ago when the leadership of two organizations, AFP, the Association of Fundraising Professionals, the DC chapter, and the Direct Marketing Association of Washington, basically saw the value in bringing together their two audiences, the traditional fundraisers and the direct response fundraisers. After all, they use similar tools and messaging and channels and creative. So Bridge was designed to bridge the gap to help create a more cohesive fundraising team. So since its inception, the use of digital channels to reach new donor audiences has exploded. So actually, we now provide another bridge, the bridge between channels, which is critical to meeting donors where they live. Channels like email, mail, social media, telemarketing, DRTV. Today, new channels like connected TV and others. So really to turbocharge fundraising. And of course, these new channels are powered by big data to really create the tactics that can be so effective. And so there's another bridge that big data offers into our daily lives. Bottom line, the synergy was there for these two organizations to come together to create a phenomenal education and network event, and that's only gotten stronger through the years.
So a lot of bridge building, like you mentioned, it's an aptly named conference. But Bridge has been burgeoning as an in-person conference, but of course, due to the pandemic, I had to pivot to digital or virtual in 2020, like a lot of most conferences did. And it's going to be a virtual conference again for 2021. So what are some of the pros and cons that you're seeing and experiencing with planning a virtual event versus an in-person event?
Well, okay, first the cons. Make no mistake that everybody loves in-person bridge. The energy, the networking, the face-to-face camaraderie is really palpable, especially when bridge is at the Gaylord Hotel in National Harbor, Maryland. But it couldn't be this year. Hopefully we'll be among the last to have a virtual conference, and hopefully we'll be back together again next year. But if we learned anything through this year, through the pandemic, it's that agility is the key. So we adapted and we used the tools we had available to us to excel. And it's that very concept that actually inspired our theme, which this year is energy, endurance, and excellence. The Bridge Conference basically helps fundraisers do all of that and more. So here are the pros. You asked me for pros and cons. Here are the pros. This year, we've built Bridge on a successfully tested, proven, user-friendly technology platform that's easy to navigate and makes networking with others simple. In fact, it's even fun. We've been test driving it for a bit, and there's a lot of great creative ways to interact and to get some great education. Speaking of education, our sessions are a combination of live and simulated presentations, simulated in the sense that they are pre-recorded. So every session has a live component. Some speakers will actually be presenting their entire talk live, and those that are recording their sessions will have a live Q&A at the end of their formal presentation. And because it's virtual, many more fundraising professionals will be attending than usual, with travel and distance and the associated costs not being a factor anymore. Networking Bridge has always been a huge benefit, and now our networks are bigger than ever, with greater opportunity to meet and interact with peers that normally wouldn't be present. So the cool platform enables networking with plenty of private and curated chat spaces available. But of course, the biggest reason to attend, as always, is the incredible depth of education that Mirvlyne and her team has been putting together for us.
Now, let's talk about that education for a bit. What's new that registrants can look forward to hearing about and learning about at Bridge Conference?
Well, first, thanks again for having us here today. I listen to the Nonprofit Voice, so this is a real treat for me. And as the education co-chair for the Bridge Conference, I'm particularly proud of the programming we're offering. For fundraisers who are new or not so new to the profession, to direct response marketing fundraisers, all attendees will find several sessions that will resonate with them. So before I talk about what's new, I do want to talk about the tracks that we have. So we do have 12 tracks, and each track has 3 sessions each day, 72 tracks in all. Each track focuses on a particular channel or concern that fundraisers are grappling with today. Obviously, the pandemic has rippling effects that will be felt for several years. So many sessions are being viewed, if you will, from the pandemic lens. But we must remember, or definitely keep in mind, that the pandemic is not the only crisis we as fundraisers will be experiencing. Earthquakes, floods, disease, fires, social justice issues such as advancing diversity, equity, and inclusion, and many more. The fundraising tactics we have learned because of the pandemic, though, can be refined and applied to the future. So Bridge is a great learning ground. 10 of our tracks focuses on what all fundraisers and marketers look for in education, right? So integrated direct marketing, direct mail, digital marketing, donor behavior, data analytics, sustainer mid-level campaigns, acquisitions, retentions, and reactivations, just to name a few. But now to the exciting part, which is what your question was, Sean. What new tracks our attendees will experience? And we have 2 new exciting tracks that are very targeted for a specific audience. We have a faith-based track developed by the Nonprofit Alliance Catholic Development Council. This session, and there are 6 sessions in all, covers issues from fundraising as a ministry to diversity is good business and faith-based fundraising. Catholicism is not the only faith represented in this track. Panelists from Jewish and Lutheran faiths are also speaking. Our second new track, entitled Fundraising by Numbers, has a very special target audience, the CFOs, finance directors, and managers. Developed by FAR, an association that serves nonprofit leaders, these 6 sessions will appeal to any nonprofit staff. So there's a session that every fundraiser or marketer should attend. It's called the top 5 things that CFOs want the development officers to know. We see that there's another opportunity to bridge a communication gap within nonprofits leadership, ultimately with the goal of improving fundraising results. With 72 sessions, I can talk much more about each one, but I'm sure you have other questions.
Yeah, people, you're going to have to go and check out the conference itself to get the lowdown on those other 72 sessions. That is a lot of education. I mean, I've been to Bridge Conference before a few years back, and that lineup sounds like it rivals, everything that was being done in person, even though the event's now virtual, which is great. You mentioned something though that I wanted to touch on, which is diversity, equity, and inclusion. Obviously, that's been a huge hot button topic in the country right now and for a while now. But it's an issue that needs to be addressed in the fundraising philanthropic sector. How has the Bridge Conference leadership been handling this issue?
Well, first, the Bridge Conference has had a DEI statement for about 5 years now. So this is not a new hot button topic for us. Each year, Bridge has worked at being intentional about our selection of speakers. And each year, we were able to broaden our networks and connections. And the more we do, the more diverse Bridge becomes. And the more diverse Bridge becomes, the more positive impact on the fundraising marketing sector we have. It's the work that needs to follow the intention for there to be real diversity and inclusion. And we're very intentional about the work of selecting our speakers and our reviewers too.
And thanks for the insight there. And as you say, this is an ongoing process. For most conferences, though, the main draw is the keynote speakers. So who do you have keynoting Bridge Conference this year?
Well, Sean, our opening keynote speakers are 2 well-known experts in our industry from the United Kingdom, Dr. Adrian Sargent and Dr. Jen Shang, both of whom carry the title of co-founder and co-director of the Institute of Sustainable Philanthropy. They will present the session, Love Your Donors the Phil Psych Way. Now, that's not Dr. Phil speaking about fundraising. It's really a reference to the philanthropic psychology, growing your love for humanity and your love for your donors to fulfill donors' psychological needs when they interact with your nonprofit organization. Mm-hmm.
And our closing keynote speaker is Reverend Naomi Tutu, a race and gender activist and the daughter of Archbishop Desmond Tutu. Reverend Tutu has said, the challenge of growing up Black and female in apartheid South Africa have been the foundation of her life as an activist for human rights. Those experiences, she said, has taught her that our whole human family loses when we accept situations of oppression, and how the teaching and preaching hate and division injures all of us. So her closing remarks will inspire and ignite the passion in all of us, Sean.
Those are some fantastic keynote speakers, and I'm sure there are some other really just wonderful presenters and speakers at the conference. One last question before we wrap up today, though. What would you like to say to a fundraiser or direct response marketing professional out there who hasn't yet registered for Bridge Conference?
Well, aside from what are you waiting for, I guess I could say here's an opportunity to renew and refresh and recharge after a tough year, frankly, with 2 days of ideas and insights. Best of all, with no travel or hotel costs, it's a proven and easy to use interactive platform and an extraordinary educational content at an affordable price, all of which you can attend from wherever you are, even on a sunny beach or beside a peaceful mountain lake without breaking your budget. So I hope you'll join us.
And we really have something for everyone. For those who are new to fundraising or not, to direct response marketing fundraisers. We salute all your energy and endurance over the last year. We hope you'll join us at the Bridge Conference. You owe it to yourself and to the excellence you bring to our industry and your career.
So that all sounds fantastic. But before we get out of here, before I let you guys get back to your days, Do you want to let everyone who's listening know the dates of the show and how they can get some more information if they do want to check it out?
Sure thing. The dates will be July 14th and 15th, coming up very shortly. And you can get all the information, including registration information, at bridgeconference.org.
Excellent. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure having you two on. I learned some awesome stuff about Bridge Conference. Can't wait to see how it all shakes out and check out some of these sessions myself. And that just about does it for this episode. So John, Mirvlyne, I really appreciate you both taking the time to join us today. Everybody go check out Bridge Conference. And on behalf of NonProfit Pro, I want to thank everyone for listening. We'll see you all in the next episode of the NonProfit Voice. Later, everybody.
Thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to seeing you on the next episode of the NonProfit Voice. You can listen to more episodes of the NonProfit Voice at nonprofitpro.com/podcast/the-nonprofit-voice. And remember, for your convenience, you can stream any and all episodes of the NonProfit Voice on iTunes, Google Play, and Spotify.